Good afternoon, I hope that you're doing well. I wanted to do a little bit of a catch up now that I'm back here and I have my usual setup again, because I feel like I tried to do a little bit of talking for last week's video while I was on holiday and it turned out terribly, and then I thought I'd maybe record some voiceovers, but in the end I didn't, and I thought I'd just catch you up this week. So I'm back in Turin. I came back yesterday, which was Monday, and I spent pretty much the entire day just kind of unpacking, settling back in, running errands. I thought I really just wanted to have like a walk around town to kind of reconnect here, and I also feel like when I was here last a couple of weeks ago, I was so just disconnected from everything. I was so tired, I was so like overwhelmed. Mostly I was just really tired, and I couldn't wait to just have time off from everything, and so I just yeah, it just felt nice to have a walk around and go in like some of my favorite shops and stuff, just feeling good, feeling like myself again. We had a couple of really good weeks on holiday. It was very chill. I might go back to the seaside for a week with my grandma, and I'm very excited about that. It's just going to be a lot of reading time at the beach, and if the water isn't too cold, a couple of dips in the sea here and there, and it's going to be really nice. But for now, I've come back here because I've got a dissertation to write, and that isn't going to write itself. I'm in a bit of a situation at the moment because I'm waiting on some answers, and I can't technically really go forward with anything until I get those answers, because I need confirmation on like my material basically. But I've decided that I'm gonna go ahead anyways, because if I don't start writing, I'm afraid that like it'll be too late and then I won't be able to get everything done in time, and I need to get it proofread and everything. So I'm just gonna start writing. I don't have a lot of experience with like writing essays or anything like this, so it'll be good practice anyways. And then if I end up having to scrap everything, it'll still have been good practice, and if not, I will be at a better point than if I hadn't started. So I've done my introduction, which was like technically was the hardest part. It's not finished, but it's at a pretty good point, and I've done all of the research and read a lot of papers, which is always what takes the longest, because if like a paper is like 10 pages and they're all written like this, it takes a long time, and then you've got to understand it, and like, you know, it takes a while. So I'm happy with where I'm at, but I actually want to start writing the first chapter today. So I went and got my papers printed so I can have like my paper here, my laptop there, and it'll be easier to write, because I find that I can do the split screen thing on my laptop, but it's so small that like it doesn't really work. Everything ends up being written so small that I can't read it. But kind of that aside, I just wanted to update you on some things that I've done in the past couple of weeks that I haven't really been able to talk about. I won't talk about journals too much. I'll show you really quickly, well, this week's spread. In the weekly, I've done my checklist with the weekly like check boxes again, and then a little progress tracker for some art stuff that I'm working on. And then I wanted to give you a little flip through of some pages in my traveler's notebook that I did while I was away. So I saved a poke bowl restaurant menu, because I went to it with my mum and they had this leaflet thing with all of the options basically. They also had them on the screen, but for some reason they had leaflets, and I was like, that's mine. So I stuck it down. I had to trim a little bit off the top and the bottom, and then I stamped the date on top. And then I made some Stardew pages. I have been obsessed with Stardew Valley. I feel like it's all I'm doing. I'm playing like 2 or 3 hours a day, and I've been having a great time. It's definitely like, I'm craving quiet, I'm craving like slowness, and that, well, I say like Stardew really does embody that kind of slowness, but also when you're like at level 100 of the Skull Cavern at 1:30 a.m, that's not really slowness. So I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. I really love it. It's a fun little game, but I've decided that I am gonna go for perfection because I want to play the entirety of it. It's my first playthrough, by the way. I'm on mid-winter of year 3, and I've never done anything with any kind of checklist except from the community center bundles checklist, which I printed out when I was doing the community center in a previous traveler's notebook. But there's just some things that I've been working on, and sometimes I get to like the middle of the day and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or like I don't have anything else to do, but in reality I have goals that I want to work towards, or like little things that I want to do, or I can just do like a gift run, which I'm so bad at doing. I never talk to anyone. So I've made a list of all of the characters that I want to get hearts with, and some liked gifts, and then some universal likes and stuff. Monster slaying goal thing, museum donations, a checklist, some prizes for some things, and like some more thoughts, and I've left a couple more pages to keep writing in it. Then we have this, got glued, weird, okay. My 2025 lineup thoughts. I ended up printing out all of the pictures from the designs that I liked, basically. You saw that at the end of last week's video, and I made a few really nice pages. I think they look very pretty. And then some more thoughts, because I don't think I explained this very well. Maybe I didn't talk about it at all in last week's video, because I thought I would do that in a voiceover that I never actually recorded. But I'm gonna be switching some things around in my traveler's notebook. I want to, basically, I'm not using my A5 rings at the moment. I was using that, I set that up a few months ago as my commonplace book and my book reviews book, basically. And I wasn't really reaching for it. I've not been using it in a few weeks, and or like maybe a couple of months at this point. And so I wanted to change that up, and I decided that I'm going to split my traveler's notebook system into 3 inserts. So one is going to be overflow from the A6, so anything memory keeping related. Sometimes I have a really big day and the space in the A6 isn't enough. That's all gonna go in one book. I do that already in here, but it's like, it's a bit strange to have the overflow mixed in with everything else, because then I feel like if I were to go back and try to find it, it'll be really difficult to find between everything else and to like connect the pages. So I'll move that to a separate insert. Then one is gonna be more like commonplace book, book reviews, and perhaps also some of my journaling, but I think for like regular journal entries, like it will depend on what the journal entry is about, and like I'll just see in the moment like how I feel and where it should go up. I'm not going to be too strict with that. And then for the third book, that's all going to be like my art related entries and my journaling related entries. I want that to all be in one book so I can see like my progress and track my progress. So that'll be the system. I've ordered some books from Good Impressions on Etsy. I'm waiting for those. I think they're meant to arrive by like the beginning of mid-September. So excited to set those up, and in the meantime I can finish this one. So I had some thoughts here on how I was going to set those up. A receipt, because yesterday when I went out to run errands, I made the big mistake of going into the bookshop, and I saw 2 books that I liked, and I thought I don't need any more books, and I put them back, and then I went downstairs and I saw this book, which I had already seen a couple of times. They had it in the shop window, and I'd photographed it, and I was like, I want to read that. And I saw it on my way out, and I picked it up because I have no self-control. So that's probably gonna be my next read. I really love Japanese writing. For some reason it has a kind of vibe and a kind of writing style and a kind of character that I really love reading. So at the moment, wait, let's finish this. And then I just have like a little entry from this morning. Okay, we can put this aside. And now we can talk about books. So probably gonna be my next read. While I was away on holiday, I did finish reading The Details by Jette Gemberg. I'm so happy that I read this. I have been wanting to read this for a while, and it took a while to get delivered, but I'm so glad that I picked it up. It was a wonderfully written book. As it's very evident from the title, it focuses on the detail. It's a few short stories about a few people in the protagonist's life, and through those stories, you not only get to know these people, but you also get to know the narrator, I guess, by the way that like she talks about them. and I really loved it. It's a short book, but it's a very well written book, and it's one that I'm going to be coming back to a lot. And then I picked up a couple of books from, there's like a book tent shop in town. Again, do not need books. I went to the seaside with half a suitcase full of books, and I ended up buying more books. So it is what it is. They were $9.90 for 2 books, so I justified it like that. But I picked up another book from Banana Yoshimoto because I really like her writing. I've read a book of hers before. I think it was last summer when I was on holiday as well, and my dad read another book from her recently, or I think maybe he listened to it as an audiobook, because I said I was going to buy it because he recommended it to me, but I don't like audiobooks, so I think he listened to it. And this is her latest release, and I saw it when we went to check out the book tent, and I was like, mine. And then because they had the promo, I also picked up this one. The cover made me buy it. I've read, it's a series of short stories on ghosts. I think the original title is Ghosts and the author is Edith Wharton, and I've read a couple. They're okay. They're not the most satisfying ghost stories, but I will finish it. I'm just kind of going through them one at a time, but the cover is really cool, I will say that. And so then when I came home, I realized I have had another book from Banana Yoshimoto for a long time. This was printed in like 2013. I think someone gifted it to me, or like maybe an aunt was like clearing out her book stash and she gave some to me. I can't remember. I don't know. But I'm a few pages in. I started it on the train yesterday, and I think I'm probably gonna do some reading tonight. And then once I finish this is gonna be my next read, and then I have a few more lined up. But these kind of like 150 to 200 pages Japanese, like books from Japanese authors, I could read these all day, one after the other for some reason. I love them so much, and the covers are often very beautiful. There's a lot that are kind of designed like this. I love them. So that's a book update. And then what else is it that I wanted to talk about? Some art stuff. Completely unrelated, picked up some gold star stickers in Target yesterday because I went in to pick up candles, white candles, because I finally managed to find some like candlestick holders. It's these ones from IKEA. There's 3 different measurements, they all came together, and I've been trying to find them for such a long time. I just wanted something black and neutral and like very minimal, and they look very good on my desk, but I only had a couple of candlesticks, but they're green, so they feel very Christmassy, and I just wanted to buy a pack of white ones. Sketchbook, picked up a new sketchbook when I was on holiday, when we went to Nice for the day. There's a really cool art shop. It reminds me a lot of like W.H. Smith's in the UK. I used to go there all the time when I was there. We don't really have that kind of thing here in Italy, and I really miss it. But there's a big one in Nice that we go to every once in a while. It's where I picked up my oil pastels last year, and I picked up some colored pencils this year, and this sketchbook, and I think a watercolor paper pad that's also A5, and I just wanted to test it out. It's pretty good. I like that there's a bit of ghosting, but I'm fine with only using like one side of the page or just having the ghosting. I don't really mind it too much, but there's no bleeding. Even when you do a lot of shading with the fountain pen, there's no bleeding on the other side, so it's pretty good. I did a little collage sketch with a couple of pictures that I had on my phone. I saw some really pretty dogs when I was out reading one day, and I had to take a picture of them and sketch them out. Even though like the fur and the curls are really difficult to draw because I'm not used to it, but I think they turned out okay. And then the book that I was reading, a magazine that I picked up in my traveler's notebook. This was meant to be a turtle. I don't know if you can tell that it's a turtle, but I saw a turtle in the river, and they've been there for a long time. I've been seeing them since I was a kid, and I took a picture of it and I wanted to draw it. And then a really pretty seashell, because I sent a postcard to my grandma and I decorated it. I did some drawings, and one of them was a seashell like this, and I thought I wanted to recreate that in my sketchbook. And then I tried some lettering. It turned out terrible. It's so wonky. I should have like drawn like guidelines for myself, but it's okay, it's fine. It was fun to draw, and the rest of it is still empty. I do want to put more effort again into building a regular sketchbooking habit, because I think it's very important. I actually wrote some thoughts about that in my notes in my phone the other day, which I might transfer over to some of my journals, and maybe I'll try to share them in an audio at some point in the video if I do any drawing, that I can put that over, because I think I said some really like important things, but I worded it really well, and I'm not going to be able to do it now on the spot. And then what else? I did just print out a couple of pictures, which I'm gonna put in my journal. I covered some of them with a sticker sheet because that's a picture of my grandma that you don't need to see. But there's a picture of a cat that I wanted to put for an entry back a few weeks ago, and then a couple of photos that we took when I went to visit Francesca at the seaside. We picked up one of those Kodak disposable underwater cameras, and we just got the pictures back today, and there were a lot of fish, which is very exciting. There's not really any fish where I go to the seaside, but there were so many where she was, and we just spent like 2 days with like goggles or like the mask thing to go underwater on, looking at the fish, and it was very exciting. And we took some cute pictures, and this one we completely thought we were going to be like out of focus, out of shot, everything, because it doesn't have a screen. Obviously it turned out so cute, and then that's me underwater. So I'm gonna put these in my journal. And then in here, I did do a big catch up, and that's a couple of empty pages still, like in the beginning of July. No, that's one empty page at the beginning of July and a couple at the beginning of August, and then this day. But everything else, I did backfill some pages, so I'm really happy about that. But nothing too interesting. I guess you'll see it if I end up filming an end of the month flip through, which I think I will. I ended up not doing that in July because there wasn't really anything to see, because July was a terrible journaling month. It was a terrible month for everything. I did nothing. But yeah, everything is good now. I'm feeling very refreshed after my holidays, and I'm just gonna spend the week writing. I also went to the market this morning. I picked up a lot of veggies. It was funny because I asked for like 6 kilos of tomatoes because I want to make tomato soup for tomorrow to like freeze and keep for the winter. I did it last year. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And the guy was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna give you like a cardboard like box. You can fill it with tomatoes and you can bring them home like that. And so it was me on the bus with like 2 tote bags full of vegetables, and then that, and it was very funny. I managed not to drop any. My fridge is very full at the moment, but I can't make soup today because I'm waiting for I had to order a new blender, and that's being delivered tomorrow. So tomorrow will be soup making day, which I'm very excited about. I know it's such a tangent, okay, nobody cares. It's fine. I hope that you're having a good day. I'm gonna get to some writing and then maybe some drawing before dinner, because I do have dinner ready. I have leftovers from yesterday night, so I can kind of work until a bit later today. And I haven't drawn yet this week because I didn't draw yesterday. So that's a brief, well, not very brief, but a little catch up for you. Right, it's Stardew time. I've had a good day of thesis writing. It's been going very well. And why is that glitching? And now I've just had dinner and I'm gonna play a little bit of Stardew. What is it that I wanted to do? So I left off yesterday night after catching the legend and hatching my first dino egg. So that was very exciting. And it's quite early tonight because it's not even 9, so I can do a lot. I've got my notes because I can never remember what I want to do otherwise, and I am going for perfection on this run, so I've got to kind of keep track of some stuff. I had a quest to do for the raccoons, which is dried apricots and cactus fruit jelly, so I've got to go and get the cactus fruit jelly, and I need to get some more apricots because I've only got 2, so we're going to put those 2 there. I need to do a major reorganization of all of my chests. I need to get a bigger shed because there's no space anymore in any of the chests or anything. And then I've caught all of the fish. I've only got a couple left in summer, I think. And I think next I'm just gonna start setting things up on Ginger Island. I've not really done a lot in Ginger Island yet, and I think it's time to do that because I was focusing on sorting some stuff out in the farm first, but I'm quite happy with that now. I've also gotten to level 100 in the Skull Cavern, which is exciting. I'm still working on like all of the monster slaying goals, but I've not got too many left. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. So I've done a few, but I've not gone into the volcano yet, and I've really only gotten like 13 golden walnuts. So a lot to be done there. Some museum donations left, but I'm waiting for my mystic tree seed that I planted yesterday to grow so I can get mystic syrup and then make the treasure totem, which makes like the artifacts spawn all around you, so it's going to be just quicker to get everything else that I still need. Why is it glitching so much tonight? It never has glitched so badly. What's going on?